Right now, excessive heat is blanketing San Diego County with triple-digit heat already peaking in some cities today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. We have team coverage breaking down what you need to know. Our chief meteorologist, Carlene Chavis, is tracking conditions and will have the very latest, while Shannon Handy is looking into why these heat waves are becoming more common.
Let's start with Carlene, as the extreme heat is expected for the next few days. Carlene?
That's right. We had it today. We already started to feel the triple digits out there. So we are looking at our highs for today, how we shaped up. We had 100 degrees today for Valley Center, talking about triple digit heat for Ramona as well as for Campo and for Alpine and the desert, 112 degrees. But look at the coast. You also had a warm up there with widespread 80s right along the coast. And so we are looking at days of dealing with this heat. Excessive heat warning across the inland valleys has been extended to Saturday. That's with highs between 102 to 110. You're still seeing the excessive heat warning until Friday night, and that will be for the mountains and the desert. And adding to that will be the heat advisory that will go into effect. That will be for the coast as well as for downtown. That will start tomorrow at 11 a.m. and last all the way through Friday night. We'll go ahead and take a look at those hot highs expected for tomorrow and also your complete forecast coming up. Carlo, Marcella.
Thanks, Carlene. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, says we're seeing more heat waves more often, going from 2 a year back in the 1960s to 6 heat waves per year these days. But what's driving this trend?
Our Shannon Handy spoke with a local researcher to find out why these warmer temperatures are becoming more common.
Even though we're closer to the coast here in downtown Chula Vista, you can still feel the heat beating down. I spoke with a local researcher who says every year we're seeing more days of extreme temperatures, no matter where you live in the county. From Chula Vista,
pretty unbearable. I can't wait for winter.
To Santee,
my AC is going to be running 24/7.
People across the county were feeling the heat Wednesday as temperatures soar from the 80s along our coast to the 90s inland and triple digits in our desert and mountain communities.
Heat waves are becoming more extreme, more frequent and longer lasting here as in other parts of the world.
Alexander Gershinoff is a research meteorologist at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UC San Diego. He says while we often see hot days in September, one noticeable change is the rise in humidity.
It's related to the warming of the oceans. So warmer ocean basically means that the air over the ocean is going to be more humid. Not just warmer, but actually much more humid.
That means temperatures don't drop down at night like they do during dry heat spells. And for people along the coast who aren't accustomed to the heat or don't have air conditioning, that can be dangerous to their health.
One thing we do know for sure is that it doesn't take very hot temperatures at the coast compared to what they are inland, for example, to send people to the hospital.
Gershinoff suggests as temperatures rise, we adjust intervention strategies to help people cope. Right now, San Diegans aren't the only ones under an excessive heat warning. Millions of people across the southwest and west coast are impacted as well. In Arizona, temperatures on Tuesday reached 100 degrees for the 100th day in a row. It's a statistic that doesn't surprise Gershinoff, who says while summer may be over in a few weeks, don't expect these heat waves, including here in San Diego, to end as well.
In coastal Southern California, heat records are typically broken in September and October when the first Santa Ana wind events occur. Even in the winter, we can get temperatures as hot in the middle of winter as we can get in the summer.
And as we've been reporting, tomorrow and Friday are the hottest days of this heat wave. As always, use extra caution. That means make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Don't do anything strenuous outside and keep a careful watch on your elders and pets. Reporting from Chula Vista, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Thanks, Shannon. A new indictment says that 4 San Diego-based gangs were responsible for a multi-million-dollar COVID tax fraud case. CBS 8's Brian White explains what we're learning tonight, including how San Diego police discovered the scheme.
This indictment came down on people from 4 separate San Diego-based street gangs, some of them rivals actually working together on this brazen scheme.
Dante Sheffield.
One by one, each defendant appeared for their arraignment today, the judge ordering us not to show their faces.
This kind of fraud hurts everybody.
San Diego County District Attorney Summer Steffen told CBS 8 that 31-year-old gang member Stephen Pittman Jr. was the ringleader of this tax fraud scheme.
Defendant Pittman started with this and began, recruiting and paying for other gang members to recruit others.
The alleged scam was simple. Prosecutors say gang members conspired with one another to claim exorbitant amounts of COVID relief credits for sick and family leave on their 2021 tax returns. The limit stated by the IRS on the form was 60 days and no more than $15,000 in relief money, but we're told the co-defendants claimed anywhere from 800 to 15,000 days each, resulting in a total of more than $1.7 million worth of payments into their bank accounts.
We have multiple gangs, and we have really rival gangs. The Crips and the Bloods are involved in this fraud.
The fraud was discovered by San Diego police during the course of a separate homicide investigation when detectives found an enormous IRS refund on one of the suspects' phones. SDPD's Financial Crime Division took over from there with a 10-month-long investigation.
This is not a victimless crime. When gang members that are perpetrating destruction get $1.7 million in order to perpetrate more destruction.
Steffen says Pittman used some of the money to buy Rolex watches, diamond chains, and a diamond-encrusted necklace of his gang moniker.
We're going to keep working on trying to recoup whether it's cars that they bought or the jewelry that was recovered. But some of it was blown in Vegas and different places.
If convicted on all charges, depending on their level of involvement and criminal records, each of the 17 defendants faces between 16 months in jail to life in state prison. I'm Brian White for CBS 8.
Thanks, Brian. Right now, the Biden administration is considering changes that would make it harder to lift current restrictions on asylum.
This all relates to an order from President Biden back in June, which effectively shut down America's asylum system for migrants who crossed the southern border illegally. Under the current rules, the asylum restriction would be lifted if the 7-day average of illegal border crossings fell below 1,500. That figure does not account for unaccompanied migrant children from outside Mexico. The change being considered would only lift the asylum limit if unlawful crossings stayed below that 1,500 number for 28 days, and that number would also include all unaccompanied children. Customs and Border officials encountered 104,000 migrants at the southern border in July. That's down from a peak of nearly 270,000 last September. Efforts to stop a landfill development in East Otay Mesa have hit a roadblock. A bill that would have made it harder to build the recycling center and landfill stalled in the state legislature. Opponents of the project are concerned about more pollution coming to the South Bay.
CBS 8's Abby Black reports on what's next for the proposed development.
East Otay Mesa Recycling Collection Center and Landfill projects proposed to be right over this ridge, just a quarter-mile north of the U.S.-Mexico border and in the Tijuana River Valley watershed. That's what has many opponents concerned. State Senate Bill 1208 would have prohibited a regional water board from issuing wastewater permits for a new landfill in the Tijuana River National Estuary unless it met strict environmental protections. Late Saturday night, it failed to get enough support to move forward.
The fight is not over.
State Senator Steve Padilla represents the South Bay and authored the bill. It gained massive support from elected officials and environmental advocates.
We respectfully urge your support for this important and needed legislation.
Stephanie Peck founded Protect Otay Foothills to raise awareness about the landfill and testified in front of the legislature about this issue.
The project being put in the Tijuana River tributary system is illogical. It's the antithesis to everything that all organizations and individuals are trying to do to clean up the Tijuana River cross-border pollution issue.
In 2010, voters approved plans for a landfill in East Otay Mesa. At the time, reports showed that the county would need a new landfill by 2030, but that since has been extended to 2053. Now, not everyone in the South Bay is against the landfill project.
But I urge you to oppose this bill today.
South Bay Assemblymember David Alvarez testified that he wants the Regional Water Quality Control Board to have final approval, which isn't a requirement for other landfills. He tells me if the environmental review process shows the project will harm the area, he won't support it.
It will be lined with a non-permeable member to protect the watershed. It will have controls so that any water that is extracted is completely held within the project and processed.
Former State Senator Ben Weso now works for National Enterprise, the company who wants to develop the 340-acre landfill site. He says developers are finalizing their application for permits, which will then go through environmental review and public input.
And it will give the public a chance to really scrutinize this project and see what it is all about and how it's going to serve the San Diego community.
Developers are happy that Senate Bill 1208 is not moving forward, but opponents are not giving up.
I will keep fighting to protect this watershed and to protect the health and well-being of people who live in the border regions who have been poisoned and been dumped on.
In East Otay Mesa, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Thanks, Abby. Today, Imperial Beach Mayor Paloma Aguirre is renewing her calls to the governor and the president to declare an emergency over the Tijuana sewage crisis. This week, the South Bay is marking almost 1,000 consecutive days of closed beaches. Every day, millions of gallons of sewage flows from Tijuana into the water off of Imperial Beach.
And the fact that our governor and that our president haven't declared a state of emergency is extremely concerning, because this is not just a matter of coastal access, it's also a matter of public health.
Mayor Aguirre also called out what she sees as disparities in the way her community is being treated compared to others. The governor has declared a state of emergency in Rancho Palos Verdes over the recent landslide there. Aguirre says she's glad that they're getting help, but she wants the same kind of urgency for her community. Governor Newsom, in the meantime, has issued emergency declarations for Rancho Palos Verdes because of land dramatically shifting under homes. In his declaration, the governor said that land is now sliding at an average of 9 to 12 inches a week. Severe storms over the last 2 years are being blamed. This comes days after Southern California Edison shut off power to hundreds of homes and businesses there because of the ongoing land movement.
One national monument is generating millions of dollars for parts of San Diego. We'll explain next.
And we'll share the new way schools are protecting athletes from excessive heat.